hate restarting.
We're live. What's going on, everybody? Patrick over here at Ghost Picks ATS with my guy Moff Dollars. Another episode of Keep It Rollin' Golf Podcast. We at the Valero Texas Open. Moff, what's going on?
Pat, what's going on? Good to be back. We took a little hiatus last week for the match play. Um, if you're following us week before, another winner, Taylor Moore. And this week at the Valero Texas Open, we're looking to keep it rolling. We got a bunch of good picks. And this is our second take of the night. So Pat, let's get it rocking.
Let's get it running. So we're gonna go over the course preview. We're gonna have outright winners. We're gonna have long shots, top 20s, and then of course our lock of the week. So we'll get right on into it. We'll start off with some long shots. But actually, we'll start off with a little course preview. So we're down in Texas, TPC San Antonio, the Oaks course. Some of the toughest sets of par fives. The winners of this one have ranged from freaking 350 to 1 to 30 to 1, so it can be anyone all across the board. So we're going to cover the map here. We're going to definitely throw out some darts on some long shots, and then we're going to hone in on a couple favorites as well. But tough course. It's Texas course. It's going to be hard. It's Bermuda grass with POA overseed. It's Texas guys have a huge advantage, so we're definitely going to be targeting some Texas guys as well. But Moff was saying, old guys as well do well here. It's hard course. The ball rolls out a good bit, and you got to be able to play the wind. So old guys know what they're doing. It's thinking man's course. But the week before the Masters, Moff, you could talk about that. That's your thing. Go ahead, give it a whack.
Yeah, so last year we talked about it. These older guys that have been around, they use these tournaments before the majors to, sharpen the game, get ready to go, especially if they're in the field, but even more so if they are not and they are trying to make the dance, so to speak. We've got some older guys that play well here consistently, and that includes Chuck Hoffman, Lucas Glover are the longer shots, Kevin Streelman. These guys, Lucas Glover is 550 for the top 20 and has not missed the top 20 here in the last 3 years. Chuck Hoffman does have better odds because they respect him enough to know that he kind of owns this place, and is not in the Masters next week. These guys want to play, and Chuck's won here before. He hadn't made a cut this year, but other than the ways management, but this course, he's used to that panhandle. These guys that have experience here play well. It's just one of those things. Course is set up good for some guys, and you see it year after year. Lucas Glover, Chuck Hoffman, Kevin Streelman, Matt Kuchar is kind of the blueprint for this place. Guys that are kind of well rounded, don't lose strokes really in any category, or just solid golfers, and uh, that's about it for the older guys. We were all over them last year. It's funny, all those names I listed, they were all golden picks. And so if you're looking at DFS, anything like that, looking for some value, there you go. Pat, other long shots. Who you got?
Yeah, so old guys and Texas guys. Those are the two guys you got to target if you're looking for long shots. Uh,
Picks.
there's a couple of them right here off the top of my head. Looking at them, we got Texas guys. So these guys have played this course growing up. They've played it in college. So guys like Cole Hammer, he's plus 800. That's an extreme long shot for a top 20. But Cole Hammer, one that I really like is Pearson Cootie. I was on him earlier this year at the honor Palmer maybe. He was a plus 1400 to finish in the top
Mm-hmm.
20. That was a hitter. This week he is down to plus 500. But this guy was the best college golfer in all of college golf last year, and here he is now at a course that he knows, and he's plus 500 for a top 20. I will say I'm gonna pull up the BetMGM just released their odds not too long ago for the top 20s and whatnot. If there ever is an option for you to get out there and get BetMGM, I would always suggest putting your bets there because they pay their ties out in full, which is huge when it comes to
Mm.
getting your bets chopped up and whatnot, which sucks. So, um,
Shout out MGM. There we
hey, this
go.
is not sponsored. We are not sponsored by anybody, but
Yet.
let me see. All right, so final placement. Oh yeah, absolutely. So a guy like long shots, pulling them up again here. Um,
Just give him the Texas. Give him the Texas lineup.
the
I mean,
Texas
all the
lineup.
guys.
If you're looking for DFS, if you're looking for long shots, Pearson Cootie, Cole Hammer, Dylan Fratelli. These guys are all long odds. You could put a little bit
Bo
on all of them.
Hostler.
Those are just money picks. I'm expecting one of them to make a run this year, and if that's the case, maybe finish top 20. You're paying out big time. But this is one of these courses that's consistent. You know, if you're good here one year, you're good here most years. And Moff was kind of hinting at that. These guys like Hoffman, he's got 3 top 5s and a win. Lucas Glover, top 20s. Kuchar's just peppered with top 20s. And then there's guys, Streelman, same thing. All those old guys, they played well here year in, year out. So kind of looking to hit on those guys. Especially in those filling out those DFS lineups because they're pretty cheap and low owned, which is very nice. But here it is, pulled up. So BetMGM, these odds are phenomenal. So Pearson Cootie is plus 500 at BetMGM to finish top 20, and he's also plus 500 at every other place. But the difference is BetMGM pays out their ties in full, which is huge in the long run. So that's a huge. Can't emphasize that enough. As a matter of fact, Cole Hammer, his odds are actually better. He's plus 1,000 to finish in the top 20. University of Texas grad, young guy. He's boomer bust. So give me some of that action. So there's some long shots for you filling out your lineup. Moff, let's get on into some of our favorites here and some guys that we think can actually compete, maybe win this thing.
Let's do it.
So who you thinking? Who's your favorite this week? Who are your top dogs? I know you said Cooch. Cooch is definitely your guy.
I mean, Cooch is definitely the guy. The fact that he's not in the Masters next week is huge motivation. Ninth in his last tournament here. He finished second last year, so he's right there. And everybody's on Ricky. Everybody's on Terrell Hatton. To be honest with you, like I know he's going to be DFS. I mean, I'm just looking at like the popularity here. Siwoo Kim owns this course too. Siwoo Kim, like he just owns this place. 13th, 23rd, 4th, 45th, 22nd. I mean, he's just consistent. If anything, DFS, right? I don't know, but Kuchar to win. God, who's going to win this thing, Pat? I want
So
to say
I'm telling
Ricky,
you,
but
Davis
everybody's on
Riley
Ricky.
is winning this thing.
Davis Riley.
I put out the video earlier as a quick one. Davis Riley, I said the number wasn't going to last at FanDuel. It was 34-1. He's now 24-1 at FanDuel. But Davis Riley is my guy. His odds were
Some
not
might
phenomenal.
say that's a stinky line. That thing's moving.
Oh, it's on a move. But he's still like 30-1 or 28-1 at PointsBet. I think is the best. BetMGM also has good odds. But Davis Riley is my guy to win. I think if you look at him at this course, he's only played here one time and he finished 63rd. But in reality, he actually played this course on the Corn Ferry, and that was his only professional win. He played, all of the Texas course. He's absolutely dominated then. He's just peppered top tens. So he's my top dog this week is Davis Riley. But I also love a guy like Hideki. He's probably my favorite of the favorites, of the true favorites. I think Hideki is gearing up for the Masters. He finished 5th in the Players. He took off, he looked solid last week in the match play, which is always nice to see. Past Masters winner look like he's going to gear up. It's a terrible field. So Hideki, definitely one of those guys. He's like plus 115 to finish in the top 20. In this field, that's a crime. One guy that I really like this week as well is Christian Bezenhout. Not really my style of player, but he kind of fits that Kuchar build that Moff was talking about. Great putter, keeps it accurate, does his thing. Very accurate off the tee. He's definitely one of the shorter guys on tour, but it is what it is. He's dominated Texas courses in the past. He is yet to play this course, though, which is kind of why his odds are a little lower than guys. So, Moff, who's another guy you're looking at over there?
Well, Hideki and I love Chris Kirk. So there's a couple of guys. There's a couple of guys that fit this Kuchar build. Chris Kirk is one of them. Those older guys I mentioned aren't well. They don't fit that same build. But guys like Chris Kirk, I love. Brendan Todd, uh, Hoggard. This dude Hoggard is a problem. I mean, I know like we don't have a lot to work with here, but this dude absolutely crushes it off the tee. No one's close. No one's close. And when I tell you hitting and he's not only is he bombing it, he is accurate. I mean, he is off the tee. He is destroying the field, gaining strokes. And when you got little wedge flips into these courses, it just makes golf easier. His greens and regulation. I mean, it's only basing it off one round, but 80% greens and regulation. The dude's hot. Finished
Yeah,
second
you
last week.
extend it out a little while longer. He's a little more inaccurate, but that was down there
Yeah,
last week. He was
yeah,
phenomenal. Coming off a second place last week in the Corrales Punta Cana Championship down in the Dominican Republic.